Today we're back in Vista, California, which has become one of the more popular places to live in the entire San Diego area, especially in the past few years. But today we're really just going to focus on about 4 different factors, which are going to be the cost of living, the overall vibe of the town, the style of homes, and the proximity to things to do. So let's get after it. Hey guys, welcome back. Or maybe this is your first time here and you like to know everything there is to know about living right here in San Diego. Make sure you give that subscribe button a little tap down below. My name is Nick and you guys are reaching out all the time and we absolutely love helping you out. So if you're thinking about making a move here in a week, a month, or even a year, just shoot us a text, shoot us an email, or just straight up give us a call so we can help you save so much time and just help you make a smooth move to, I guess, Vista if you're watching this video. Now, you guys are going to learn a lot about Vista in this video, and Vista is one of my favorite spots in North County, San Diego for a few different reasons, which I'm going to share. But there's also a few things you might not really dig about Vista, so I kind of want to lay it all out there for you guys so you can make a decision on whether this is your next home. So let's just get into the first thing. So commute and location, that's going to be the first bullet point. Now, Vista is very centrally located, especially in North County, San Diego. It's pretty much just smack dab in the middle right there, right off of Highway 78, which makes it great too, because if you have to hop over to Interstate 5 or you have to go east over to Interstate 15, you can just hop on the 78 and it's going to take you straight there. So that is awesome. But besides that, if you have to commute outside of, let's say, Vista, or a lot of people work in Carlsbad that work in Vista because you have a ton of industrials in these areas. Vista has a huge industrial, commercial kind of area and things like that. So there's a ton of employers over there. Not to mention Carlsbad is just south of us. So you have another big commercial area for industrials and things like that. So you're going to have a lot of people working there, especially that live in Vista. And I even have a few buddies that live in Oceanside that commute all the way over, well, I shouldn't say all the way, but just over to Vista to go to some of those industrials to work over there. So a lot of employers, like I said. But let's say you have to commute outside of these areas, especially in North County. That's where you really have to figure out, because it can be kind of stressful and a lot of driving, because traffic here in San Diego is crazy unpredictable. I'm telling you, you just don't know when it's going to happen. It could happen at noon, it could happen at 11, it could happen all times of day, and it kind of sucks. So you just want to be aware of that so you're not stuck sitting in your car all the time. But if you have to commute to, areas like La Jolla or even downtown San Diego, or you have to go to the airport, that's where the airport is going to be, is downtown San Diego, that could take you easily 45 minutes without traffic. So that could be a very, very far drive. So you just want to kind of know these areas. But besides that, if you have to head over to, let's say you want to go to the coast or you got to go to Oceanside, it's only going to be about a 15-minute drive, maybe less. If you want to go east into Escondido, you have to go to the dentist or one of the hospitals over there. That's only going to take you another 15 minutes. Or if you want to head up to Orange County, that may take you a little bit longer, obviously, if you want to go to San Clemente or something like that. But that's going to be maybe 30, probably longer than that, probably 40-ish minutes. So just something to kind of be aware of with these commutes. All right, enough with the work commute stuff. Let's talk about the proximity to all the fun things. Where are the fun things at? Well, like I said, Vista is very centrally located. So you're going to have a lot of stuff in other cities just around you, and they have their own unique vibes and their own amenities, which is great. You can take a quick drive over to these places. But besides that, right here, I would say Vista is very, very well known for its brewery scene. You have a ton of breweries here. I'm talking well over 25, 30 breweries just in those industrial parks that I was talking about. So a lot of these places, if you're not into these pale ales and IPAs, guess what? They have seltzers now, so they got something a little bit lighter. But you're going to have a plethora of options when it comes to that. Not to mention, all these places really have their own full kitchen now, or they have a food truck that's making food pretty much nightly. So really good food in areas like that. Now, one thing I will say is it is a lot more relaxed and laid back here. In the downtown area of Vista is a little sleepy. It's getting better, it's getting refurbished and things like that, but it still has this kind of like historic vibe where you have a ton of mom and pop restaurants that are not going anywhere. Shout out to Curbside Cafe, super good breakfast spot, but you got a ton of that kind of feel here in Vista. So it's really cool to see that, but you also have some newer, I don't want to call them chains, but some other businesses that have 2 or 3 other locations throughout San Diego, and they're kind of spreading over here, which also has great food and things like that. Now, nightlife. You're also going to have a couple bars and things like that, but it's not a big area. You're not going to see it all over Vista. It's really going to be just in this downtown Vista area. Now, if you're not really into, going out and things like that, that's great because your outdoor activities here are going to be a little bit better in my opinion. Now, if you like trails, you're going to have a ton of trails just right here in Vista. You can even go over to San Marcos where you have even more trails, very clean, very maintained, but pretty much everywhere around San Diego County, you're going to have trails in your backyard. But besides that, if you like parks and just being outdoors, I'm at a place called Bringle Terrace right now, and this park is really, really cool. It's over 70 acres. You have everything you could really imagine here. You got beach volleyball. They have horseshoes right next to me here. You got picnic areas all over the place. You got, I think, 5 or 6 tennis courts, basketball courts, outdoor amphitheater, and you also have pickleball courts. So if you like pickleball, you'll probably see me here. Sunday nights kind of go off, and then Monday nights go off here along with the weekends, especially in the morning. You'll see people popping their mimosas, having drinks, having a good time. So good times here at Bringle Terrace, but this is just one of the things kind of for outdoor activities as well. Now, the next thing is going to be the beaches. Beaches. You're not far, and this is the biggest thing about it. We're going to talk about cost of living and homes in a little bit here, but the affordability here is amazing, and you're still only 25 minutes from the beach, maybe with traffic, so you're not far. You can shoot over to Oceanside, and if you want to get some better beaches, in my opinion, shoot down to Carlsbad, Encinitas. It's only going to take an extra 10-15 minutes to get there. So you have a great amount of options when it comes to beaches, and if you're okay with driving a little bit more and you really like to have, not outdoor activities, but kind of water sports and things like that, go down to Mission Bay. That'll take you about 45 minutes to get down there from Vista, and you're going to have everything. Even if you don't have what you want, you can go rent it down there. Kayak, jet skis, boats, everything you could really think of is going to just be right there. You can rent catamarans, you can have all that down there. So really cool, really fun time if you want to get away from Vista and go check some different stuff out. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the different styles of homes here in Vista, because homes really do come in all different shapes and sizes, and we're going to get a little tree barrel right there, but like I said, homes come in all different shapes and sizes here, and there really is 2 different types of living in my opinion, and I want to go over both. But the first one is going to be exactly what I'm at right now. This is going to be a lot of the scenery here in kind of the western zones of Vista, along with the northern parts. It's going to have a little bit more of a rural feeling and a little bit more character in my opinion. You have no sidewalks in a lot of these neighborhoods, which reminds me I got to be careful so I don't get smacked by a car. But you're going to have no sidewalks. You're going to have a ton of matured trees for the most part everywhere. And, the homes are going to have, they're going to have more of like a custom feeling. They're going to be older, most of them built in the 60s and 70s, while some have been completely refurbished and they're just gorgeous, while others are just all original. So, keep that in mind when you're looking in areas like this. But if you want to have an ADU or build an ADU in the future, which is a granny flat, this is going to be the type of area that you want. You also have a ton of views in areas like this. But if this isn't for you and you're more of the person that likes to have, kind of a master plan community, maybe you have kids, this might not be the best for you because you got no sidewalks around. There is parks, but they're kind of further away. But if you want something where there's parks all over the place, there's sidewalks, look in areas like Shadowridge, because you're going to have that master plan feel. Like I said, you're going to have newer homes in there, usually built in the 90s, 2-story homes, about 2,000 square feet and bigger. So that's going to be a great community to look into. And those are really your 2 different styles of living. But that's why it's so important that you guys reach out, because we literally love helping you guys, but we can't help unless you guys reach out. But we literally know these areas so well, and we would love to just figure out which one's going to be the best for you. So make sure you guys reach out. Now that you have a little bit of a sense of the neighborhood vibe here, let's talk a little bit more about the town and what the city vibe is like here in Vista, because it is a lot different than a lot of other cities here in San Diego. Now, the population here is about 100,000 people. So it's one of the more medium-sized cities. If you go over to Oceanside, just to the west, they got about 175,000 people living there. If you go to the north, you go up to Fallbrook, it's even more rural, kind of a even more small town feel. You got about 60,000 people. You go just to the east to San Marcos, you got about another 100,000 people living there. So medium-sized city, like I said, but here the vibe is going to be a little bit more laid back. And if you've ever been here before or you visited a few times, it does have that rural feel like I showed you in that first neighborhood. And it also does have more of a master plan feel in some other areas. So you kind of have the best of both worlds, which is really, really cool. But overall, you have a ton of local shops here, like I mentioned earlier, with like restaurants, mom and pop shops. But a lot of the areas are really just kind of outdated, especially as you go down to the downtown Vista area. You'll see there's a lot of, kind of industrial feel, along with auto part shops and things like that. And then you have like a cool new bar that just popped in. So it kind of has this older type of feel. Will that change? I'm guessing it probably will. But overall, it's just going to really have kind of a slower pace of life here. You're going to have more of that rural feeling and things like that. But if you want to switch it up and you want to go over to the beach, go over to Oceanside, that's a place where you can have a beach day, 20-minute drive, and then, go grab a cocktail on the downtown Oceanside after. It's going to be a completely different feel than Vista. And it's kind of trippy too, because you drive 20 minutes back home and you're like, whoa, I can't believe I just spent a day at the beach like that. Also, it's going to take you a little bit longer to drive to things here. You're not going to be too far from strip malls and grocery plazas and things like that, maybe max 15 minutes. But most of the time you're going to drive a little bit further to get to these places, especially the bigger chains. There's not a whole ton of big chain stores. You do have your Walmart, you do have your Target, you do have a Costco. So you have that stuff, but it might not be directly next to your house, and you might be spending, 15 minutes in the car to go to get to some of these things. So lastly, we're going to cover the cost of living here in Vista, because for the longest time, it has been one of the most affordable cities in all of North County, San Diego, when it comes to buying a home. Now, has that changed? Yeah, certainly. It's gotten a lot more expensive over the past few years here, but it still is very attainable. And it's a place where a lot of first-time home buyers actually come. And I have a lot of friends that are doing this now, and they've lived on the coast their whole life, but it's expensive to buy a single family home over there. You got to have 1.3, 1.4 million. So people look to Vista to come here because you can get that single family home for, $750,000. So it's a lot less to get in over here, but that's probably where prices are going to be over here. But you also have a ton of people who have owned multiple homes in their life, so they have a good amount of equity, and they can go buy that 1.3, 1.5, $1.8 million house out here that is completely gorgeous. So it's just very interesting to see how far your dollar can really stretch here, and it still can stretch pretty far. So if you wanted a condo, you can find condos starting at about $450,000, going up to easily $800,000. And you can also find single family homes, starting somewhere in that $650,000 range, going well up to $1.5 million. Now, obviously, the more money you have, the easier and the better the house you're going to get, because you do have a lot of outdated homes here. You have a lot of homes that were built in the 60s, 70s that have really never been touched and never been renovated. So you also have to have a budget on the side to go and fix that up. But you also have those older custom homes that have been completely redone that were built in the 70s. So you have kind of some choices here, as you guys saw in, those neighborhoods that I showed you, but you do have those, 1990 built master plan communities where you have sidewalks around, you got parks all around for the kiddos. So it's a great place to meet families and have schools close by. But you also have that rural feeling, which is my favorite, with the mature trees. There's just windy roads, and it's just a completely different feel. So that's just what you can kind of expect here when it comes to prices in Vista. Now, hands down, we know this place like the back of our hands, and we absolutely love helping you guys figure out the right area and the areas that just aren't going to work for you. So make sure you guys reach out to us. Our info is down below, and make sure you check out a couple of these videos right here, because I think you're going to find these really, really helpful. Thanks for watching.